Hello YouTube! So my weak-ass self finally unlocked floor 11 of the Spiral Abyss, and I decided to clip my first attempt at it, and, well, this happened.
I summon thee! Out of the frying pan!
As you wish me.
One shall descend once again.
Yeah, so although that is my very first attempt, I'm just gonna imagine that that didn't happen. So we'll just pretend that my first attempt was actually this. Also, I should probably point out that I didn't record any live reaction during this whole run, so anything being said as of this moment until the end of the video is happening in post. Now, during this run, I wasn't too concerned about anything since this was more of a test run, but that is not to say that I'm not trying to tackle this as quickly as possible. My main goal is to see all three chambers for the most part, so I do care about survivability a bit more than when I go for 3 stars. The other thing is that I didn't pay too much attention to what I was playing against, so my team comps for each chamber wouldn't be ideal if I were taking this like more seriously, and you'll definitely notice that with the second team I have. And in fact, just looking at this first team, those that do know what floor 11 does entail, at least pre-patch 1.2, will realize that I have 2 pyro characters on the first half instead of the second half where there are cryo mages. So yes, on floor 11 everything is completely blind for me. I'm not really good at like taking a look at the pre-requirements and then kind of memorizing what I'm going up against. So every time there's a new chamber, a new monster appears, it's all a surprise. Every time a ranged enemy appears, I don't really notice it until they shoot their first volley unless it's like right in front of my face. The other thing is that I kind of kite quite a bit with Fischl, and that's mostly out of just habit into overworld more than just wasting energy or whatnot. It's something I definitely need to improve on, and I've only recently am starting to practice doing aim shots instead of just kiting so I can save some stamina, and I'm still not quite good at that. I don't really feel comfortable doing that in the Abyss, although I should probably attempt that.
By royal decree. Everybody stand back. Teamwork is dreamwork. I'll protect us. Nice and spicy. Nice and spicy.
So as you can see, my second team is not the greatest. My main DPS for this is the Traveler in her Geo form. And it is currently, as of this recording, the second best DPS I have next to Fischl. To try and compensate for that, I kind of have Venti with his ridiculous crowd control. I also have Noelle there so I can get a little bit of that shield resonance, which I don't really put to good effect all that often. It's mostly Venti trying to really be the really good support, and Chi-Chi for those heals. Although Noelle can be kind of a good meat shield at times, and can act as a secondary healer if things go pretty wrong. So it is a relatively safe team. It's just the damage output not the greatest.
Brace your...
So I try to go for the ranged Hilichurls first, since their range can get really annoying, but that ice effect thing, super annoying. Like, seriously super annoying. So I do eventually change my focus after a while, but it doesn't quite frustrate me all that much until a bit later. Although I do get some surprise dodges on it every so often.
Here we think you can get away. Leave it all to me. Rise. Steady as. Here we go. We're not gliding too fast. Time for takeoff. As a dutiful maid life goes on. Brace it. Go.
Since there was only one enemy left and I had taken a decent amount of damage, I decided that stars weren't important and that I should just go for HP recharge, but it kind of bites me in the ass with Venti, but I eventually do get its health back to the green, so it wasn't a complete loss.
Think you can get away? I'm as a good night should. Here we go. Starfall! Let's play! Let's play!
But I still managed to get 1 star, which is actually quite surprising. So, as I said, this is my first time doing floor 11, going completely blind, so I'm walking around in circles as I'm reading what I needed to do, because this is the first defense tower type of thing in the abyss that I had to do. But I eventually figure out that I need to go after the ranged Hilichurls, since the melee ones, for the most part, go after me versus the tower. The other thing I find myself doing, and it's mostly just because I like doing more than it being a good thing, is that I like to switch between characters quite a bit. It's probably something I picked up since my first 5-star was Venti, and you kind of want to switch into him and do his E and EQ before switching back to a different character. So it's kind of a habit that I've built up on. And it honestly sometimes helps me. And other times it really doesn't.
I'll protect us!
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
You're toast! Everybody stand back! Nice and spicy!
As you wish, main foiler.
Boba, get them! Wings of darkness, let's dance! Go, Bubba, go! Going in! Ha, ha. Ha, ha. Eat this!
Now for the second half, I kind of noticed what my HP was, and I was just like, yeah, not a chance. So I just played a bit safer, not really going for the stars. I like knew, probably not right away, but I knew I wasn't getting any stars at a certain point. Although what I did find out is that Geo Traveler can be really good for defense tower with her Geo things. I just don't utilize it to the best right away, at least. Not right away.
Yahoo! Think you can get away? Steady as stone, as a good knight should. Here we go! Go. Brace yourself. Yeah, time for takeoff. Here we go. Yahoo! Leave it all to me. Real fast. Brace, think you can get away? Opening box of adept tricks. Let's play! Steady as a dutiful maid woman. Let's play! Brace yourself. Go.
That's Chamber 2. No stars, as I expected. One surprising thing about Floor 11 Chamber 3 for the first half is that I was actually quite surprised at how little I got frozen because I have Bar on a team. I do get it at least once, get frozen at least once or twice, but honestly, considering how not that great of a I am usually, I'm surprised only it was so little. But I also don't really use her E all too much, considering I also have Bennett. Bar was mostly just there to get a little boost attack by bringing her in and then switching her out into my DPS. And also to take some hits if needed.
Going in! Boba, get them! Eat this! Nice and spicy! On! Nice. I summon thee. Come on, we can do it.
Don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun.
Going in. Nice and spicy.
Freshness. You can't run. Well, this isn't over.
It's time for a flash freeze.
All you got. Don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun. You can't run. Well, don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun. I see through you. Midnight Phantasmagoria. Well, don't be a killjoy.
Now with the second half of the last chamber, I kind of go into like berserker mode and just spam it as many attacks as I can, as quickly as I can, because I was just like, we're at the last level. When we're in the last level, we just go all in. We don't care about deaths at this point. I don't usually play like that for the first half because it just doesn't feel like it's the last one, and it really isn't. Even though the characters used in the first half don't really matter, but mentally, it's just I still play a little safe. It's not until the second half where I can go kind of ham. But I'm not completely mindless. I am using Noel's shield whenever the Anemo Boxer kind of does his little attack thing, whenever I can at least. But I am doing quite a bit of damage. My Venti is decently built with full Viridescent set and a decent boost in elemental damage since he does have the Stringless on. Some of the mindlessness does kind of eat me as I'm not really... My aim with Traveler's elemental skill kind of loses quite a bit of aim.
Steady it.
I guess this is it. Let's end this quickly.
Life goes on.
I will be
Bracing time for takeoff. I must leave as a dutiful maid would. Nice.
This is bad.
Let's play. Here we go. I must leave no stone unturned.
Let's end this quickly.
Time for takeoff. Wheel of life.
Stay right. This isn't good.
Finally just mindlessly attacked for the most part on the last enemy, using Noel's Claymore if ever he gets his Geoshield up, but from then on, pretty easy sailing.
Sacred names, fortune preserve. As a good knight should. Brace yourself. Go. Let's play.
Now hold up. I know, nothing impressive, but that's not the point. Like, I know myself better than most people, and I know that I'm not a mechanically good player in just about any game. Same applies to this one, and I thought I was gonna get absolutely massacred. even though I kinda did. So for scrub-ass self to actually get through it all, I was actually kind of happy, like, actually really happy. Like, I went to the Facebook and shared the screenshot to some of my friends that I finished floor 11. Yes, friends, I actually have some of those. But that doesn't matter. And I don't want to ramble on for too long, so I'm going to end this here. But before that, if you like this kind of video, let me know in the comments down below. I also have another recording of when the blessing reset, but I was wondering how viable it would be considering that the Abyss is about to go through some changes in the next update. So I'd like to know your thoughts. That one actually has the mic on while I'm doing the run, so it might be interesting. Anyways, until next time, goodbye.